That is a Friend Who Cares. Written by Bob Scribbler. And as always, read for you by ASTRO BRONY. When we honestly ask ourselves which person in our lives means the most to us, we often find that it is those who, instead of giving advice, solutions, or curses, has chosen rather to share our pain and touch our wounds with a warm and tender hand. The friend who can be silent with us in a moment of despair or confusion, who can stay with us in an hour of grief and bereavement, who can tolerate not knowing, not curing, not healing, and face with us the reality of our powerlessness. That is a friend who cares. From The Road to Daybreak by Henry Nouwen. Fluttershy stared into the mirror. It kind of looked okay. It didn't look too bad, did it? Someone banged on the door.
Hey, Flutterbutt, why is the door locked?
She cringed. Rainbow Dash wasn't exactly concerned with fashion or her appearance. She frequently came to class with her hair mussed from a quick flying practice she had squeezed in before school. Sometimes she and Gilda, the new transfer student, even disappeared at lunch to sneak out and practice really dangerous tricks that would make the teachers yell if they knew.
Hey!
The banging continued.
Fluttershy, are you okay in there?
Rainbow Dash hadn't been there. She hadn't seen what happened. Fluttershy had seen her roommate. She hadn't done anything to help. Would Rainbow Dash have stepped in? She had been so different since Gilda arrived. Like, being cool was the only thing worth caring about anymore. The filly who had defended Fluttershy against bullies was fading into a mare destined for the spotlight. Fluttershy hated the spotlight. She would much rather fade into the background. She definitely wasn't cool, now more than ever.
Alright, I'm gonna count to 3. If you don't open this door, I'm gonna buck it down. You listening in there? 1, 2, 2.5. I'll do it. I'll totally bust this door down. 2 3/4. 3!
Fluttershy didn't look up, as legs that could buck a thunderbolt from a storm cloud slammed open the bathroom door. Rainbow Dash strode in, wings fluffed belligerently.
Alright, why the heck are you...
She caught sight of Fluttershy sitting on the floor.
Locked in here? Oh man. Fluttershy, what did you do?
Does it look okay?
She turned to see Rainbow Dash's dismayed expression. Her cheeks flamed. She dropped her head onto her chest, but she couldn't hide behind a curtain of hair like she usually did.
It looks bad. I knew it looked bad, but it was the best I could do.
You cut off your mane and your tail.
Uh-huh.
But why?
Fluttershy looked at the scissors. She supposed unicorns could use them more accurately. Magic made everything fiddly a lot easier. They wouldn't have been crying so much. They wouldn't have cut off a jagged chunk and then had to keep cutting and cutting, trying to make it even, until there was practically nothing left.
Fluttershy!
Rainbow Dash advanced on her. When Fluttershy recoiled, she seemed to realize how aggressive she seemed. Folding her wings back, Rainbow Dash stopped and said at a lower decibel,
Your roommate came and found me. She said you were crying and you locked yourself in. What happened?
Fluttershy sniffed.
Promise you won't go and deal with it. You'll get into trouble.
Rainbow Dash's eyes narrowed.
Did Comet and Snowfall pick on you again?
Fluttershy closed her eyes. Just hearing their names brought back the two colts' faces to mind. Their derisive laughter echoed in her skull like she was standing inside a giant bell.
They put gum in my mane and tail.
Seriously?
She nodded, remembering how she had opened her locker only to have dozens of freshly chewed gum splots slide off the cling film they had rigged inside the door.
And birdseed.
What?
It was a message. They must have seen me going down to feed the animals and birds.
She often descended into the outskirts of Ponyville to visit her precious creatures. It was the highlight of her day whenever she managed it. Last time, they had led her to an old, dilapidated cottage, and she had spent a wonderful time poking around, imagining what it could look like with a little love and do-it-yourself work. Comet and Snowfall's scathing comments had robbed some of that joy from it.
They weren't impressed.
What did they say?
I don't want to.
What did they say?
She refused to look her friend in the eye.
They said, I'm not a real Pegasus, so I should go and join the other groundlings.
Rainbow Dash bristled at the offensive slang for ponies who couldn't fly.
I'll kill him!
No, don't!
Fluttershy grabbed her before she could turn around and make good on her words.
No, don't! You'll get in trouble. It's fine.
It is not fine! They insulted you and hurt you! I'll shove their heads up each other's butts so they can see what buttheads they really are!
Rainbow!
I'll tie their wings together and toss them off a cloud!
Rainbow!
I'll make those two punks regret ever picking on you!
Rainbow!
Fluttershy was startled at the volume of her own voice. Evidently, Rainbow Dash was too. She stared until Fluttershy let go and sat back down amidst her own cut hair. It looked like dead worms on the floor.
It's not worth it. They're not worth it.
She tried a watery smile.
It's just hair. It'll grow back. And next time, I'll let it grow even longer.
That's not the point! Where did this happen?
In the hall. They were waiting for me to go to my locker when there were lots of other students around.
She recalled the thin strands of white and pink gum, studded with brown seeds, as she pulled away and realized she was stuck to her locker door. Comet and Snowfall's laughter had echoed as she struggled to disentangle herself, getting covered in the horrible threads and growing steadily more embarrassed. By the time she flew off crying, risking punishment for the no flying in the halls rule, she had drawn quite a crowd of onlookers.
They thought it was funny.
I will kill them.
Rainbow Dash's voice was a growl.
They need it. They've been getting too cocky lately.
Please don't, Rainbow. I couldn't bear it if you got in trouble for fighting. You might be suspended or expelled. You'd certainly be cut from the sports teams. You need a scholarship if you want to get a job with the weather team after graduation. Remember?
That brought Rainbow Dash up short. Guilt and anger twisted up her face.
But you... I can't just let them.
Fluttershy smiled. It wasn't much better than last time, but at least she could pull off that much. It was more than an hour ago.
It'll be fine. Like my mom said, soon enough we'll all have graduated from fight school, and we'll never have to see each other again. Me and the bullies, I mean. Not you and me. Unless, of course, you want me to never see you again once we graduate, and I move down to Ponyville.
Don't be dumb. We're friends, aren't we? I never abandon a friend and never will. Whether you choose to live in Cloudsdale or Ponyville. And I totally still think there's a perfect job up here for you and you just haven't found it yet. But we're gonna stay friends.
You mean that?
Look, I know I've been busy with Gilda and everything lately, but we're still best buds.
She shot out a foreleg and wrapped it around Fluttershy's narrow shoulders.
Get it?
Got it.
Good.
Rainbow Dash nodded empathetically.
Do you, want any help cleaning this up?
She gestured at the hair and scissors.
No thanks.
Fluttershy got up and shook back her head. Her neck felt cold, but inside she was warm. Rainbow Dash's words had buoyed her out of her tears. Maybe she wasn't the coolest, or the fastest, or prettiest pony in Equestria, but she had a friend she could count on. How many ponies could say that and truly mean it?
But would you like to go flying later?
You want to go flying?
You can show me the new tricks you've been working on.
Seriously?
Rainbow Dash beamed.
You want to see me fly a double inside-out loop?
Is that what you've been practicing with Gilda?
No, it's something I invented on the way home from practicing. You can see me test it out. It'll be awesome.
Fluttershy smiled properly for the first time that day. Rainbow Dash's enthusiasm was infectious.
I'd love to.
The end. That is a Friend Who Cares. Rainbow Dash was played by Cassie Pony VA, and Fluttershy was played by Gina M. I'd now like to take a minute or two to say some very important words to a Miss Obob Scribbler. Scribbler, when I'm asked to describe you, the first thing that comes to mind is dedicated. You put more heart, soul, and effort into everything you do than most of us combined. I'm still baffled by the amount of stuff you're working on at any given moment and the quality of everything you produce. But not only do you produce great content on your own, but you also help so many other people create amazing things as well. You inspire people, myself included. It's because of you that I even started reading fanfiction in the first place. But more than anything, you're a fantastic friend. You're always cool to chat with, and you always try and help give advice. You're welcoming and helpful to new readers trying to get started, and it's because of you that I've met all these amazing people. Over the last 6 months, I've made some incredible friends in the fandom community, and I am so happy that I can consider you to be one of them. I look forward to officially meeting you at BronyCon in August, and I hope you're ready, cause whether you like it or not, you're getting one big old hug from me. Thank you, Scribbler, for everything. And until next time, this is ASTRO BRONY, signing off.